going to talk about the basic animation tools that you have in Cinema 4D. The first thing you'll have to notice is you have a timeline here. The green here is the indicator on where you are on the timeline. You have a preview range down here that you can turn up and down on the both ends, so you can work within a certain range of your animation. Here you have the controls of the timeline. With play, you'll see your green indicator moving. Skip to next frame. Skip to previous frame. This is go to next keyframe. We don't have that yet, so there's no point clicking it. Then it's skip to end of animation and front of animation. If you need to increase the number of frames in animation, you can type in your new number here. So let's say we wanted 100 more. I also need to drag the preview up. Here we have the keyframe options. The left one here is record position. When I click this, it will generate a keyframe and it will record the position, scale and rotation of the object. Here I can turn on and off what the keyframing is supposed to record. So this is position, scale and rotation. We're not going to care too much about that now, but if you're working on more complex animations, you don't want to record scale and rotation because it messes up your timeline. And it's harder to work with it further out in the project. The next here is automatic keyframing. If you click that, your viewport is going to have this red rectangle around it. It means that anything you do will be recorded. So I can do like this. I can jump to frame 30, do like this, and it has actually created the recording of that, like that. Now that's not an animation I want. So I can click my cube and click coordinates. And now you can see it's recorded. Here you can see there's a keyframe, but a red indicator. If I move on the timeline a little bit, you can see that there's a red circle instead of a dot. That means that it's animated, but it doesn't have a keyframe here. So if you go to frame 30, you'll see that it fills up again because I'm on a keyframe. If I move the box in the middle here, you can now see that these two became yellow circles. That means that there are changes that aren't recorded yet. So I can click my keyframe button and they'll all become red. And the animation will also have been updated. It's the same when you're on a keyframe and I move it, but instead of a circle it becomes a yellow dot. If I wanted to record this particular one, I could press Ctrl and mouse click the circle and it will become red and it will actually record a keyframe there. So that's also a way to work with animations. I could also use this same function to clear out any animation, and we want to start over again because this is not the animation we wanted. So by Shift Control Command if you're on a Mac and clicking on the circles will clear out all the keyframes. It's also recorded stuff for my scale and rotation, so I'm going to clean out those two just to make sure. And let's start over again. I want to move my cube to 0, 0, like that. When you are animating, you will also notice that it's animating based on the center point or where your manipulator is. When I rotate now, it will rotate around the center. So if I go to one of the side views, doesn't really matter which one it is, then I'll move the center point to the bottom here. Sorry, this needs to be edible. Then I can move the center point like that. Turn it off again. So now when I rotate, it will rotate based on where your gizmo is.